Hello everyone, my name is Indira. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I'm here to tell you all about major sport events. Hi everyone, welcome back. So now we're gonna talk about my role, my functional area, and my venue, okay? So I want to talk about the entire process. In the venue airport, there are four functional areas. So there is protocol, I was protocol, arrivals, departures. We both do pretty much the same, we just have different clients. I have VIPs and arrivals in departure have everybody else, okay? So we give you more like special service and they give you more diverse service. And then there is accreditation and transport, okay? Those are four functional areas that are working at the airport, okay? So since I was also a client, an international client, I know the flow of what the client does from the time they leave from their country, okay? I'm gonna talk about that too, okay? From our point of view, we have a list that calls Arrival Manifest. I'm gonna show you. So we have Arrival Manifest that, let me see, here, one more thing. That's the document. So protocol have with the name of the people that's gonna arrive, okay? And protocol people will pick up them in the, because it's only few people, okay? Arrival to departure are groups. So it's a little bit different protocol from arrival to departure. I'm gonna explain protocol first. So protocol people, they have the name. So for example, here there is the Alexander Tuckett. It's in the blue one. This is the original, okay guys? And then we make a plate of him. And we go to the door of the airport to show his name. Okay? And we're gonna give full assistance to them. So when he leaves from the airplane, we guide them to the immigration. Okay, so he will, and then now I'm gonna talk about the point of the client, the guest. Okay, every single person that's part of the game, they are accredited. Okay, besides the spectator that only gonna buy the ticket and watch the game, every other person, including volunteer, including staff, everyone that's part of the major sport event, it's accredited. What does that mean? That they are in the system. They've been checked. Their identity is in the system. The games know who they are. So for the international one, they receive something that calls PVC, pre-validate card. For us volunteer, that's what I showed, my credential, remember? So my credential, I gave my identification to them, my picture, they check if everything was okay with me, if I had no problem with the police, everything, so I could work in the games, okay? So they checked this before. For the international, they do the same because they needed to pass through the embassy to get a visa, okay? So the immigration, the embassies, they work together with the committee to print a visa for them. So the PVC, this, the accreditation, before get laminated, they call PVC, pre-validate card. So since in Tokyo, I was an international client, I was a part of the delegation, I can talk about that. What happened is, 1 year prior to the game, every person that's gonna be part of the game, they get in the system. So everybody, media, VIP, delegations, people from anti-doping, broadcast, everyone, everyone, volunteers, staff, everyone that's going to be part of the game, getting the system. And every international one, as they are not there, as they cannot pick up their credential there, they receive in their home. So they're going to receive this 1 month, no more than 2 months prior to the games. And because they have to go through the airport and the immigration, their embassies work together with the local organization committee to display visa for them. So that PVC, it's gonna also work as a visa for them to get in the country, okay? So they're gonna receive that, and they're gonna get clearance from the immigration, okay? So me going to Tokyo, I receive this in my country, in my home, and that means that I did not need to go to the embassy or consulate to get a visa. That means the committee did this for me. So I send all my information, passport, whatever documentation they need. Usually you have to do. Actually, the committee, the African committee that sponsored me, that I was going with them, they send all the information that was everything fine with me, that I had no problem with the police or background, anything that was fine to emit a visa for me. So I received this in my home, okay? That was my PVC, okay? So this is very important. All the international, they are coming for the games, will receive this in their home, okay? Or in their committee that will handle to them. So I received this in my home, okay? That is my PVC that will become my accreditation once I get to the country, okay? So I received this. That's how it is, the PVC that will become accreditation later on. So, okay, this will become this once they get laminate and they get the lanyard. Okay, so you see the difference, how much I grow? Nothing, and a lot of access. Yeah. Okay, so once the international person gets this in their home, that is her visa. Okay, so this works as the visa. So, as I mentioned before, let's say this Alex Tucker, that was in our arrival manifest, so we knew he would arrive. We make his name. He received this in the country. He passed through the immigration. So we receive the guy. We show him that. He was like, okay. So we walk him to the immigration. We accompany him to the immigration. We work more like a translator, or sometimes the person is confused, or sometimes it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, guys. Really, really. It's very confusing when everybody's getting together. It's very noisy, very confused. So we want them to have a smooth experience. So we guide them to the immigration, and then everything is gonna be smooth there. And then we guide him to the accreditation, and then at the accreditation booth is the first functional area he's gonna pass through after he sees us. So he's gonna get to accreditation booth, he's gonna laminate, so he's gonna pass the plastic on, and he's gonna put the lanyard, okay? So after that, he's gonna make lamination, okay, and he's gonna put the lanyard, and then this is gonna become his accreditation for the entire game. And the accreditation will tell everything he has and he can during the games. So in my case, my accreditation in Tokyo tell where I was. So I was in the Olympic Village, what kind of transportation I could take. So I could take the transportation for athletes, and then it could take, would tell if I could eat, so I could eat there, fork and knife, and where I could go, so I could go to the athlete seats. I could take, to the athlete seats, so I could go and watch the games together with the athletes. So a lot of things, a lot of information that's on the back. Okay, your accreditation is gonna tell you. So everyone that has accreditation has a lot of information about what the person cannot do, can go, cannot go, can access, cannot access, okay? So it's very important to understand the accreditation. I will make a video all about accreditation, okay? But right now, we need to understand the flow of the airport. So for the protocol person, the person that's coming, they go, they use the PVC as a visa, they arrive, they see the person waiting for them, they go through immigration, they show their visa, they go to accreditation, they laminate, they make their accreditation, they put in there. So once they see protocol people have T3 or T1, okay, T1, T2 or T3. Protocol people have this, okay? So transport people will see this. This will guide the transport people. So we'll give a car for them to go to their accommodation. They have official accommodation. That's mostly family hotel. Family hotel for presidents, for NOC presidents, NOC presidents, National Olympic Committee presidents, or they can be IOC members, International Olympic Committee member, okay? So they have the family hotel for IOC members, okay? For the their hotel for presidents and their hotel for IOC members, okay? So there are many official hotels. So they know their name. Also in our arrival manifest that I show, you can see, okay? Where is this? You can see the hotel here. In the arrival manifest, you have the flight, the hour, the name of the person, and the hotel. So they know. And also transport people, they have this also. So they know where they're gonna take. So the accreditation is only to confirm who you are and the rights that you have, okay? So that's the flow. You arrive, we see you, we guide you for translation especially. That's why we needed to know English, and hopefully they know English too. But usually they know at least a little to be able to talk to you, to be able to, you know, these people, they always in games. They needed to survive at least. And then we go to accreditation, we go through immigration, we go to accreditation, and then we give them to transport, and transport to take them to their hotel. And then there in the hotel, they're gonna have help from other people, okay? So that's the flow for protocol. For arrivals and departures, it's a little bit different. Arrivals and departures, they come in group. Let's say a group of athletes. They come all in sport clothes with their flags. So it's a group of people, okay? And they come together. So it's a lot of people. So you don't guide one by one. Even in the arrival manifest, it's group people. So it's written group. It's not a one by one name, group travel. So it's like in this purple one, group travel, okay? So it's a delegation of somewhere. So they guide the group, and then it takes much more time. That's why they separate the protocol people from the group people, so they don't keep waiting for a group. And also their luggage, sometimes there are weapons, sometimes they are like, let's say, surfing board that it's gonna take forever to come out, you know. That's why they separate these things. And it's the same procedures, the same process, but it takes much more time because sometimes they're like, you know, 50 people in the delegation. And then also usually they are going for the athletes village, and also they take buses, and in my case I was delegation, so we take TA, transport for athletes. So but the process is pretty much the same. They receive this in their countries, they receive the PVC in their country, it works as a visa also, but they come as a group. So they're gonna have the manager, the chief de mission that will deal with the volunteer, with the people in the arrivals and departures, and they're gonna guide you to immigration, and then they're gonna guide you to accreditation, and they're gonna validate the accreditation. Then they're gonna take to the transportation, that they're gonna take a bus, usually to the athletes village, okay? And then everything is gonna go smooth, and that's their experience at the airport. And then there are other class, media, same thing. They're gonna be guided also by arrivals departure people, and they take TM, transport for media, okay? Usually mini buses or sometimes bus. There are also referees take TF, it's transport for federation, okay? And usually they are small groups of people, so take mini buses or vans, okay? So this is the process. The process is the same. We're gonna be expecting, so we're gonna have the arrival manifest. We're gonna besides protocol people that we actually hold their names, the others no. They need to be a little bit more proactive to look for the people from the organization, because they need to be more interested and look for their transportation. Protocol people, no, we spoil more them and we go after them, okay? What else? This is the perfect situation, okay, guys? And that's the ideal situation, that everybody's gonna get their PVC, that everything is gonna be okay, that they can laminate their PVC because all the information is gonna match what's in the system, that the PVC will be perfect, that the transportation will be there will no conflict of information. But of course, the event is all about flexibility, because it's really, the event is all about not the rule, like the perfect doesn't exist in the event, so you always need to prepare for the unexpected, okay? And this is really important to know. And the thing is that we start before is because everybody's prepared for this, for the name to be in the list, in the arrival manifest, for them to have the PVC. Often they don't receive, often there is no time, or something change, or somebody comes in the place of another person, people get sick, okay? Athletes, often they just get the spot in the last minute, so there is no time to put them in the system, and to, especially Africa, many of my colleagues didn't have the PVC on time. So I didn't get it because I was in Brazil. They received their PVC in Africa, and then they had to send to me in Brazil, because I left from Brazil and they left from Africa. And then when they left from Africa, they got to Portugal, because they were going from Portugal to Tokyo, and there was a strike in Portugal, so they changed everything that they're playing. So they got there in different date, and so the people from the airport didn't have them in the system. So when you arrive first, you're always gonna face the unexpected. And then if the organization are not flexible, like in Japan they were not, at the beginning they were really by the rules. So if you didn't arrive with your PVC, they really didn't know what to do with you. Like, okay, so if you arrive, they almost put you in the plane to send you back, really. So it was a little bit complicated at the beginning, because the Japanese people, they follow too much the rule. Brazilians, we were like that too. I remember we received an authority, a minister, sport minister from Africa, and the guy from transport said we don't have a car for him, so he needed to wait 3 to 4 hours, and I was like, this is not reasonable, you know. It can't be that we have to have a car here for something like that happen, because this is going to happen a lot, you know. People change flights all the time, especially from Africa. Africa is not the most organized place in the world, you know. We know that, you know. And also my airport, it was not the international airport, so a lot of flights would change in São Paulo, that's the international airport, and they would send the people that would go to the international airport in Rio to ours, and vice versa. So I was like, you know, either we put him in a cab, or we try to find another solution. And we did find another solution. There was a person that came to pick up another person, you know. He came with an official car, and they were going to the same hotel, so we asked if he could bring him together, and he was fine with that. So there are solutions, and we're gonna have to make solutions, and it happens more often than the regular situation. So it happens that the person doesn't get the PVC in their home, and so they will need to have an email or some kind of identification that they are part of the games, and then they have the right of the service, okay? There will happen that they're not gonna be in the arrival manifest, so you need to be prepared to provide service still, even though they are not on the arrival manifest. And there will happen that you have no information whatsoever about the person, and then you need to find out a way to find information about the person. So how, like, you have no idea who the person is, and if you what kind of service you need to provide, if is a VIP, if it's a media, if you, what kind of transportation you're gonna provide to this person. So you need to find out. The thing is, in the airport, especially our airport in Rio, there was a small airport, a domestic one, we didn't have a system. So we could not try to find out who was the person, to find out what kind of service we could provide. And everything for us there would come from the international airport, was quite far, was like an hour from us. So it was really hard to take fast decision there. So at the beginning we were a little bit stuck. Later on, when things start to happen, we were more proactive. So we were like, okay, this happens quite often, so let's just hold 2-3 cars here for eventually when something happened. Or we saw that a lot of people would come with a letter that they were referees. There were a lot of referees that they just didn't have the credential, but they were saying they were going to this hotel, that we didn't have this hotel as official, so we are not allowed to take people to a place that's not official. But we saw so many people coming with the same letter from this hotel that we understood later on that the hotel was official, so we understood that we need to take them, you know. So we started to figure out what to do. So that's why it's important to have people with experience and not just people good, okay? It's important. So that's one thing, is to do things by the rule. You cannot just be flexible and do whatever people want, but you need to have common sense and to know when you need to be flexible. And you need to understand that things change all the time, and you need to deliver. So you need to be efficient and effective. So you need to understand that as much as you prepare yourself and as good as you are, a lot of situations that you didn't predict it's gonna happen, and you need to provide service. Okay? So this video is about the flow. I hope you understood. So pretty much is this: you get the visa in your home, your PVC, You arrive at the airport, your name is supposed to be in the arrival manifest. Somebody's supposed to be there waiting for you, guide you to immigration, guide you to accreditation, guide you to your car, and your car is gonna take you to your accommodation. So that should be the smooth and the perfect process. And everything else, you just gonna need to be creative. Okay? So that's the venue airport. And I hope you learn a little bit today. And in the next part of the video, I'm gonna talk about some stories that happen, funny stories that I want to share with you. Okay? See you next part of the video.